We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
You miss me?
I do miss you a little bit. It's been a week, man. It's been
Well,
a week.
why did yeah, I was it was nice of management to give us that trip as a little reward for doing the show.
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? Oh,
He took us he allowed us this well, you don't fly, so we didn't invite you.
yeah.
We went to the Mediterranean on the company yacht.
Oh, you flew on the yacht?
Flew on the yacht. No, I flew to the Mediterranean and then got on the yacht.
Oh, is that where it's docked? It's moored.
Yes. Well, that's where he had it that week. So,
Well, I'm happy for you that you
yeah.
get to, gallivant all over the globe on my talent.
Right. And as he was just as
Ugh.
or what's the total blank words? He was just as amazed as to why that's the golden ratio as I just told you, as you were in the last 5 minutes.
Not the rule of 72s, but the golden ratio.
Yeah, the golden ratio.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well,
no,
I got nothing.
you got nothing. The golden rule, the golden ratio.
I
What
don't
was the
know.
thing at UCF? They called it the golden.
Knights.
I know the mascot, but they had like a little pledge they made us all take. It was the golden something.
You can't finish.
Yes. And
Yeah,
we
I do
might
remember. It was on that statue out by the library.
or something like that. And then we may or may not have been quizzing a pledge. Hey, to all the Sigma Chi's out there. And my my question was to state the golden whatever it was so that in front of the university instead of an appropriate question.
Do we ask our friend?
No way they would know.
We said that before. Hang on a second. Alexa, what is the golden pledge for University of Central Florida?
I don't have an
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, I don't even go
She
down to
stepped
that
up,
because
hit
I
it out
could
of the
be
park.
totally wrong. I may have just said
Yeah,
state
I did.
the golden rule. Who
I
knows?
think there was a pledge.
I remember
Pat
some.
Kelly should weigh in, probably help us out with
Yeah,
that.
if you call in, appreciate it. That'd be
Yeah, that
nice.
number is 555 BR 549.
You know they still get the number for Jenny eight six
867
seven five 309.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, someone in Orlando had that number, and our hotelier friend every I don't know 3 to 5 months would call the guy and ask for Jenny. And I don't know if the guy had no clue why people would call and ask for Jenny all the time,
You
but
know what's sad is I can remember that number, but I can't I can't
yeah, I know
remember
my
my
own number.
wife's cell number.
And the guy would get belligerent. Why do you keep calling here asking for Jenny?
Sounds like he had a little voice problem. All right. Well, listen, it's been a week in case those are two listeners that have missed us for the week.
Yes, me
Um,
and you.
yeah, that's right. So what did you do last week? I know I had a full week and I'm at fault, so I guess I owe everybody an
Well,
apology.
not that I wasn't. It just so happened I was not available on our normal recording night of Wednesday. I am partaking in a pickleball tournament here in the neighborhood, the Woody neighborhood. And my match was scheduled for Wednesday. So instead of backing out on it,
Hmm.
I decided to back out on this because the couple we were playing had to get had to get childcare so they could come to the courts and play.
I thought you were going to say they had to get their wheelchairs adjusted or something like
Yeah,
that.
I wish because we succumbed to our first loss of the season against this couple.
Is it
So
double elimination? You go to losers bracket?
no, you just play a turn. We play in a just a regular season, and then there's a next week starts the tournament. So
Are you in it still,
yeah,
or
I think everybody goes to the tournament.
everyone goes to the dance? Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's single elimination at that point. So I will update our listeners on how we're doing.
Yeah, please.
I think
keep
I have a
me.
fairly good chance at advancing.
What about your wife? Is it a doubles tournament or singles?
No, I play with a neighbor. My wife will not go back to the pickleball courts
Oh,
anymore.
she injured herself, right?
Yeah, she fractured her collarbone playing playing pickleball, so she won't even return to the site
You guys
to
are hard
play.
knocks, man.
Yeah. Well, she is a nurse and she is in recovery, and she has seen a mountain of pickleball injuries come through the unit in the last 2 years or so as the sport has picked up in momentum. So as you update us on your stock portfolio, I'll update our listeners on I mean, most of our listeners know me from college where, my athletic prowess was on display, right? So they expect me to do really well in this tournament, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
Word on the street.
Yeah. I actually met the national when I was running for Congress back in 2020. To name drop, do that every once.
Yeah.
I met this guy, the New Jersey state champion, adult, like he was in his 40s, probably, maybe 50, but senior adult champion, New Jersey. He was
Of
down
what?
in a pickleball.
Oh,
I'd never heard of it before. He was down in Crescent City, a little town south of me in Putnam County, and he was hitting this ball against they had a court down there,
right.
practicing. I'm like, what kind of paddle? What is that? So I turned around, went back, and said, all right, yeah, I'm intrigued. What's going on here? And he goes, it's pickleball. And I'm like, I've
It's
never heard
like
of that.
giant ping pong.
Yeah, and so he goes, you got to come out Saturday morning to the fire station. They've built a pickleball court adjacent on the back of the fire station, like a little volunteer fire station. I'm like, he goes, there's gonna be a lot of people there. So when you're campaigning, you got to talk to anybody that's
Yeah.
breathing. And so I show up Saturday morning. There was like 200 people at the fire station playing pickleball. I'm like,
It's
what
one
is
of the
going on
most
here?
it's the most one of the most growing in popularity daily.
2020, this was.
Yeah. Well, you just taught me something is that whenever a campaigner comes up to me, I'm going to make up a title for myself.
Yeah, no, I didn't ask for his papers, but I mean, it seemed legitimate. I mean, what do I care? New
Well,
Jersey, huh?
back in my very, very youth, probably 8, 9 years old, there was a neighborhood tennis court and it was summertime and my parents were always looking to get rid of me during the summertime. And the local university, Lafayette College, they would send one of their tennis players down there to teach tennis.
Yeah.
And so every I don't know, Tuesday, Thursday morning, mom would kick me out of the house, tell me to go down and learn tennis. And there was a little tournament at the end of the year, and I advanced to the finals.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it turned around, summarily won the finals. Now, I will say it was by default, my opponent did not show that day for the tournament.
Hey, a dub's a dub.
That's right. So I am the Eddie Side Hill tennis champion circa
By default.
1977 or something like
Oh
that.
my
I
God.
still have my racket.
Is there I'm sure you do. Is there an asterisk in the playbook, or is it just something for you to remember and that you've told all of us about it?
I was a little annoyed only because it was up to the person teaching tennis to notify the local paper of the tournament winner, and they neglected to do so. So I was not put in the paper that year as the winner.
I think they probably said,
Well, there was more than just my tournament that
did he
occurred.
really win? I mean, come on.
I did. I
All right,
did.
so I'm combing my phone real quick, so bear with me. I was hoping that you would tell a longer story, which you
Well, I can make up something if you'd like.
uh
But I think, okay, I'll you know how there's I learned a new word today, and I'm not going to use it as the word of the week. We'll hold off to that in the future. But you know how like there's a murder of crows and there's a gaggle of geese
yeah.
and all that, different names for different groups of animals. Are you aware of what a group of cows is called? Being Mr. I went to the 4-H club and the county fair to watch, and a pig owner of many years, Dave
Um
Theus.
Cows, not a herd.
No,
Does it have something to do with bovine?
No, actually, I don't even know where it came from. I should probably look it up. Maybe I will while you're talking.
Well, I know there's
It's cane, and
cane of cows.
yeah, cane of cows, and it's spelled Kine.
Kine.
Yeah, but it's pronounced cane. And like
Huh.
the farmer purchased a cane of 25 for a reasonable price.
I never heard that before. I've
Either have
heard
I.
a murder of crows.
Yeah, and a gaggle of geese and a bevy
A
of
congress of monkeys. I think it's monkeys or congress.
wow. Figuratively or
Well, I don't know what came first. I could be
but
wrong on that.
I just happened to stumble on that word today and I jotted it down in my notes
All right.
so
Well, I
that
found the picture, but I didn't find the post. And I've got so many posts. I'm not going to go through it. But anyway, it was the Willaca pickleball down
oh
in.
you were actually looking that
Yeah, I found the two photos. I found the photo of the guy. I was hoping it would attach me to my post, but I can't find that. So anyway, all right, pickleball. We covered it.
well, have you ever played?
I think I held the guy's paddle and his ball when I was
Oh,
there.
you held his balls and
I said, let me, what's the weight of this thing? He goes, that's a big ball. Anyway, all right. I know there's a joke there, but I think I've
yeah,
exhausted
they're a
it.
little fuzzy like a tennis ball, but actually it's a giant
It's
wiffle
like a
ball.
wiffle ball. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Slows it down.
Probably sting pretty good if it hit you.
It
If you
does.
had some
Yeah, if
force behind
someone
it.
puts because
How
you
did
play the
pickle come
net.
up? How did the word pickle come to it, you think?
Some guy invented it up in Seattle area or something
Okay,
like
hold
that.
on. Alexa, what is the origin of pickleball?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, pickleball was created in 1965 on Bainbridge Island, Washington.
Yeah.
Joel Pritchard and two friends devised the game and the rules. His wife, Joan Pritchard, named the game pickleball because it reminded her of the pickle boat crew that were chosen from the leftovers of other boats.
Huh? How do we get she made a giant leap
He was
there
smoking
and
weed probably too. Oh,
did yeah, Bainbridge or whatever, it's right off the coast there of Seattle. See?
there you go.
You didn't need
Pickleball.
Alexa to know that.
Well, I didn't know any of
You
that.
got
I 1965. Where has it been? I guess it takes a long
I
time to travel.
I could have sworn it was a lot sooner than that, but yeah, I thought it was in the
My
80s or
brother's
something
calling
like that.
me again.
Really? You gonna answer during the show?
This is my brother that's kind of the black sheep. He doesn't work. I said, you should be in collections, John. You can call people 6 ways to Sunday to ask for money. You should be working in geez, he calls me all the time. I mean, I love you, but give me a break. Anyway, all right, let's not go down that family tree.
Yeah,
So
let's dig up that animal. Put
so
it on
while
a
you
podcast for all
so
to
while
hear.
you were that's a whole different channel. While you were working the pickles and the balls, I was I was in my group. What did we do last week? It was a full week. So we had some stuff with of course, I'm not teaching, so I'm in the summer break, and I rolled right into my role with the chairmanship of the board, and that took on some stuff. I actually went in and I know what I did. I went in one day and pulled a shift on a Tuesday, and I'm trying to meet all the people that work there. I'm trying to be a hands-on chairman of the board, and then it's been well appreciated and well accepted. And then,
Don't be too hands-on, Dave.
well, yeah, I know, but
They get you in trouble.
so Tuesday the lady said, "Come out and go do the runs. Go do the pickups over at Publix and over at Walmart," which was good because it gave me a chance to go into the stores where the managers are, and thank them in person. As the chairman of the board, and say, "I just, and I don't know if anyone ever gets a chance to do this, but we appreciate you so much, and we really can't do what we're doing without you. So thank you." And it was well received, so that was fun. They work my butt off, though. I mean, we've got on average, the average volunteer at this place is probably 70 years old.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, there are some. We got
So
one
who do
lady,
you
like,
feed in general?
so we're located in this area called Orange Park, and so we're in Clay County, but we feed Orange Park and Fleming Island, those in crisis. And so it's not just people walking by looking for lunch. It's someone, they used to have to be referred to us by a church or a doctor or something like that. But the word's out that we have not a soup kitchen, but a food pantry. And so we have allocations for a certain amount of food for a family, that we hand out. And it could be canned goods, non-perishables, with frozen meats, vegetables, eggs, and milk, all kinds of stuff. So, and then we have free clothing that they can pick up. So it's an amazing.
You're wearing some of it tonight, right?
No, this is branded this is my daughter's school. Anyway, so it's a great organization. And then
yeah, it's so great I can't make fun of it, Dave.
No, you can't. It's not something we'd make fun of. I can't even make fun of it. It's just
well, you could, but you won't.
No.
All right.
Anyway, so then midweek last week, our Clay Men's Republican Club met on Wednesday night, and we had a fellow by the name of Brian Sexton. You know who Brian Sexton is?
He's the inventor of the sextant, right?
The thing that you do the navigating with.
On the boat or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, not even close. So he is the former voice of the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, why would I? Now, TV or radio, or announce or
play-by-play?
Okay,
play-by-play. He's the guy who was always screaming when we made a touchdown or something.
I tell you my story about the color announcer. There's a play-by-play and a color announcer, right?
Yeah, one guy talks about, hey, this guy's married and has 3 kids. That's a strike one.
Yeah, right. Well,
you met Bob Uecker?
No, I'm gonna tangent just a second on you, Dave, and tell you. So I'm at work one day, and it was the weekend after the Miami Hurricanes got in a big brawl with the other team, and as the brawl's occurring, the color announcer for the Miami Hurricanes is egging them on instead of saying, hey, they shouldn't do these. Like, get them, you teach them. He's yelling. So I'm talking to my cube neighbor at work, who just happens to be a very large African-American gentleman. And I said, did you see that Miami game? He's like, no. And I said, did you hear that color announcer? And he goes, what'd you just say? I said, did you hear what the color announcer said? He's like,
what'd you call
me? That one. He goes, say that one more time. I said, the color announcer was egging on. So he gets up out of his desk. He walks and goes, are you calling him a colored announcer? I said, no. He said, there's a play-by-play.
Listen here, Whitey. I mean, Woody.
Exactly. I mean, when he got up and walked around, I'm like, it was starting to occur to me what he thought.
He's getting ready to bust a cap in your backside. So you were quickly appointed by HR for racial relations at the office.
Big,
yeah. You got to go see Woody down there. He's the biggest.
So he Googled it later because to see that I was.
That white guy called me a colored announcer. I can't believe that.
So anyhow,
go, Woody.
So you had the play-by-play announcer of Jacksonville.
Yeah, the Jaguars. That's what
Jaguars.
So he's a neat story. He came to town about the same time I got to Jacksonville, but he was 25. So we were a new team in the league, and the new owners wanted a fresh voice that no one else had ever heard before. So apparently he went through this pretty exhaustive. He told us a really cool story, exhaustive interview process, and they said, send us a tape of what you've done. And so he was apparently, I've said apparently twice, up in Wichita, Kansas, where he's from. There's a league of football, high school football, where they can't put enough kids on a team, so they play like 8-on-8, or
I've heard of that before.
I don't know if it's 7-on-7, but I think it's like 8-on-8, and it's a high school football game, and the field's smaller. It's like 40 yards across versus 50. I don't know what it is, but it's a smaller field. So he climbed to the top of a water tower. And he had I don't know if he did it with a phone or a radio, something. And he was pitching
in the middle of broadcast, like, oh shit.
He was pitching his own ads that he sold for like $30 or something. And he called the game, and so he sent that tape in, and
okay.
The new owners of the Jaguars.
Well, it was a previous owner, right?
Yeah, they should know their name. Golly, that's terrible. Anyway, so they said, look, if this guy could do this and be inventive like this, then this is who we want on our broadcast. So he came at 25 years old to the Jaguars, a brand new franchise, to Jacksonville, but that was about 1992 or 93, and I came to Jacksonville about 90, about the same time. I was 27. I think I was coming back and forth to Jacksonville. Anyway, so we kind of shared that moment. But he gave a speech. He's been out of the press box officially for 10 years. The new owners brought in some new people. A super nice guy. Brian
Can't be
Sexton.
retirement age or anything, right?
He's 55, and so he's had to kind of go through this.
He had 30 years of doing football.
No, he did 20. So they let him. He's still in the organization, but he's not the color guy anymore. The
play-by-play, Dave. Come on, be politically correct. Can't believe you. It's embarrassing.
Anyway, so we did that, and then we had the grand opening for our Republican headquarters. That was Thursday night, and it was crazy. It was a crazy week. So,
you opened it for the campaign.
Yeah, so
this is not a permanent thing.
No, it happens. Yeah, we fire up a building, and we try to get it for nothing, and
literally fire up a building.
Yeah. We'll torch it afterwards, probably. I don't know. But it's actually a little restaurant that was a restaurant, and it's in between lease space. We cleaned it up. It made quite a little headquarters out of it. So it was a busy week, is what I'm trying to say. Let's move on.
Why? I'd like to ask you about your new little building there.
Okay. Well, it's not mine personally, but go ahead if you want to.
I mean, so you guys, how does a campaign work? You raise money, obviously, right? And then you spend as much of that money as you can.
Yeah, so in the Republican Party, I don't know how the Dems do it.
I'm sure the same way, but all right.
We have what's called a Republican Executive Committee, REC, and it is the official branch of the party for our county. We fall under the RPOF, Republican Party of Florida, but Clay County. And so we have members, of which I'm one, and we do things like we go to fall festivals and we go to fairs, and we don't sell things because I think it's illegal to sell stuff, but we collect donations. And so you'll get a T-shirt for a $25 donation, for example.
Okay.
And so we raise money, and it goes to our coffers, and then our goal is to raise money to advance Republican candidates and be supportive of those candidates, and then bring new registered voters into the fold. And so we got to have a headquarters. Now, the Dems in our county, I think someone has a building they've given them for a year round. The Dems are really well organized that way. And so,
but are they typically elected in that area?
No, we're probably.
That's what I was thinking.
Clay County is definitely a Republican county, and Florida now is Republican compared to the Dems. So we've outnumbered. I don't know what we push a statistic every week, and I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, so we make friends with local commercial realtors and management, and we say, look, we need a building for this time frame. And we've been very fortunate. This one is an old restaurant that the lease ran out, and so he says, well, you can have it.
Still back there?
Yeah, the kitchen, it's all there. We end up, it ends up being a good thing to have us because we clean the whole place up.
Right.
We go in there and really make it spotless, and then the next guy gets it. He's ahead of the game. So we just have to pay the power.
Got to get rid of a lot of stickers. That's all.
Yeah, the power and the water bill. Yeah. So anyway, so we did that, and then we had a little forum for our school board race that we're doing the same night. It was a busy week. Very busy week.
All right.
So
did you have like a ribbon cutting or?
We did. A Chamber of Commerce came out and had a bunch of people. There's a
big scissors. Did you get one of those giant pair of scissors?
Yeah, I wasn't on the scissors committee. That was the that was a couple.
I want you to borrow. See if you could borrow those scissors one time and bring them on the show. I want to see. I want to see the giant scissors.
Our REC chairperson, Rhonda, she was heading up the cutting of the ribbon.
The scissor committee. How about the giant key committee? Anybody on that?
No, we didn't do that's a key to the city.
I know, but
no, we didn't do that. So I was strategically located in the back of the picture.
Okay.
You'd have to sneak around to find me. So I was just there for the food and the beverages.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I'm just always curious about campaign financing. It just seems so.
It's pretty stringent. I mean, this is where they get most people is in that realm.
That or Texas, right?
Well, yeah, and we're very transparent, shall we say? We don't like to go to jail. I'm too pretty to go to prison. is what I say.
And I would prefer you stay out of prison as well. So
Yeah, and I wouldn't be me anyway.
So I'm going to ignore those very expensive books on your bookshelf behind you currently that obviously were paid for with campaign
No,
dollars.
that's my understanding of the law. I want to make sure I'm reading.
Oh, is that okay? It's a business expense. That's what you're saying.
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right.
Well, that's what that was our week last week, and hence why we neglected to do a show.
Yeah, I have a saying: life happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're ready to wrap this one up.
Yeah, good show.
Okay, appreciate it.
You got anything else? What time do we start this thing? Did you
7.
mark it down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got a couple minutes, don't we?
I took a guess. I took a crack at when we started. I forgot about 10 minutes in and it read 7:10. So I'm going to make a educated guess that we started at 7 tonight. So
okay.
Is that all you had on your list of?
No, I got a lot of stuff, but I feel like I'm talking a lot. So you want to say something?
Well, I'm just here's an interesting tidbit out there. I was reading some racing news today. And apparently in the modified stock car division years ago, there was a racer named Philip Morris.
Did he smoke a lot?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, who were his parents?
He was the first guy named Smoke.
I went to his bio on Wikipedia. It was maybe a paragraph long. Nothing about the origins. I was hoping there would be a funny story about it, but I got to imagine his dad was a cigarette smoker.
Do you follow? I know you're a NASCAR guy, and you're really an Indy class.
I'm racing in general, but yeah.
Did you follow along with that crash in the drags?
The one with John Force?
Yeah, I don't know the guy's name. He was a blue car. All I saw was he got off the line and looks like the engine blew up right off when he took off. And then they said he was doing. At that point, I take my foot off the gas. You know, when the motor launches out of the hood.
You got to win, Dave. You want to win, you keep the pedal on the floor.
I don't know, because it kept going down the track. And
they don't have much in the way of brakes, right? Because they're making that car. That's why they use parachutes and things of that nature.
The goal is to go versus
you're right.
Well, I mean, he careened in and out of the wall 3 or 4 times. It just exploded, and I'm like, this guy's definitely not going to make it out of this thing. And about 8 seconds later, there's a whole bunch of people pulling him out of the car, and I'm like,
yeah,
this
it's
is
amazing. I haven't seen that, but I read a headline something about John Force wrecked, so I did.
It was brutal.
Yeah, dragsters are even the funny cars, which look like a huge car, are nothing but roll cage. Everything else is just basically duct taped on the car for advertising, right?
Yeah, it was flimsy. You could see once the panels got hit, it just started flapping all over the place. But I think I'd have to take a long look in the mirror after that one and say, is this really a career path?
I interviewed Kenny Bernstein. He used to drive the Budweiser Top Fuel dragster, man.
Did he catch on fire a couple times? They call
I'm
him
sure
Bernstein?
he did. I just But
I met Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
I'd say you live right by Big Daddy Don Garlitz's car museum.
Down the street a little bit, yeah.
Right, a lot closer than me. Have you ever been to it?
Yeah.
I used to drive by it on 75 and never dropped in, though.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't he just pass?
I just saw a TV show where he was on it, but I don't know if it was recent. TV has this ability to show a program, and then you can. Like, I thought Johnny Carson was still alive, but I've been seeing a lot of those feeds on my Facebook. All of a sudden, he's not alive, apparently.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, Big Daddy Don Garlitz. I always thought, that name was kind of cool. Big Daddy Don. He's not that big. He's a little.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say most race car drivers in general are small, especially when they used to count the weight of the driver in the calculation.
Like a jockey.
Right. And yes, exactly. Keep the weight down in those regards. But NASCAR, I think they weigh the car without the driver. So, or I'm sorry, it's the other way around. They weigh it with the driver so that it doesn't matter how big you are. You just remove the weight from the car, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it only makes sense. Weight, that kind of goes back to your EMC squared thing that you did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The drag of the weight.
Yeah, same thing.
On the friction of the tires.
Almost identical, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Speaking of
Hey.
weight, you want to hear my weight loss story?
You have a weight loss story?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
go
did
ahead.
that. I did that before we went to show.
You did a weight loss?
Yeah, I almost turned us off right there. All right, so all right, this week. Hey, we got thunder. Is it raining up there where you are? How about this heat wave, huh? You getting that heat wave?
Brutal. It's like 97 up here, man.
Oh, it's been like over 100. And I saw on the weather report there's a Saharan desert sandstorm coming across the Med. Did you get any of that when you were on the boat last week with the Med?
No. We stayed clear of that. Isn't there like a Wahhabi or something like that? There's a fancy name for a sandstorm. Yes,
Wahhabi?
Alexa.
Oh boy.
That's,
Hold on. Alexa, what's the fancy name for a sandstorm?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, a sandstorm is also known as a dust storm or haboob as they are sometimes called.
Haboob.
They're
That's
results
it.
of atmospheric conditions that
Or
can
boob.
cause dust to be swept up and blown large distances.
Ooh.
These storms are dangerous and pose a threat to both humans and animals alike.
Really?
So not Hajib, but Haboob.
Uh-oh. Hold on. What have I done?
Nothing.
Haji is the thing they wear, isn't it?
Hajib, I think that's the thing across the face. Yeah.
Well, it's sandstorm. It's kind of close.
Haboob. Yeah, it blinds you. Keeps your vision down.
Haboob. I don't think it's boob. Haboob.
Not like you reminded me of something when you asked that question. So, well, go ahead. Where were we leading with that?
I don't know. It's been hot. My front yard is just shriveled. Now the joke is we're doing drought tolerant landscaping.
Does anybody have growing grass in your neighborhood?
Yeah, we're all about consciousness of saving water in Florida because apparently
you got plenty of water.
Well, that's what I've been saying, but apparently we got more people drinking it and flushing it down the toilet, so we're wasting it. So they tell us when we can sprinkle our yards and stuff now. So the big move was drought tolerant landscaping, which means weeds.
Rocks. Yeah, rocks
and weeds.
Cacti.
Versus St. Augustine grass, but whatever.
Well, that stuff it does turn brown, doesn't it, in the wintertime? It goes
no,
dormant.
It stays green. You just got to water the heck out of it.
I always hated that stuff. It was like laying on wires whenever because it's out of the ground and everything. It was horrible.
Okay. Well,
Not very comfortable. Yeah, please bring that up at your next HOA
meeting. Okay. This is riveting stuff for our listeners. They're
I want to
glad they're back.
So,
we are back, by the way.
Thank you. That's right.
All right. What else?
Season 6, episode
3,
7, 6.
So let me do this real quick. This may be something that's humorous. So I'm teaching. I mean, I'm not teaching, so I'm off for the summer, and I'm online quite a bit more than I want to admit to. And I don't know. I said this to my wife, and she said it was my fault. But I'm noticing in the news feed, I'm seeing a lot of what I would call Hollywood type. They're telling everybody what the girls are wearing on the red carpet. So and so went on a vacation in her new bikini. And I'm like, is it me or am I just getting inundated with all? I think this is my tinfoil hat thing. I think the federal government is pushing all this distraction stuff through our news feed, and then she says, "Well, no, it's because you're clicking on them."
Yes, that's right. I was good. That's right.
And I'm like, but I'm not clicking on them. I might have looked at one that had.
It only takes one click. I hate when I'm going through my news feed and I'm like using my thumb to scroll up, and I click on something by accident as I'm scrolling.
Well, I'm not perving about it. It's just that it was a new sequence gown or something. I don't know what it was, but anyway, so I'm just noticing tons and tons of what some star or starlet. I'm like, I really don't care about this. How does this affect my life? But I think it's the federal government. I think.
Yeah.
I think
they're after. And why, Dave? Are they distracting us with style?
There's something going on in the background. There's probably aliens. Who knows? I mean, it could be anything.
I had a discussion at work the other day with a gentleman who professes that just about every conspiracy theory is true.
Well, if it's not yet, it will be. That's
right. I forget what started it all. Was it the
He's a
J?
haircut.
Oh, I think it was JFK. And he said, "Oh yeah, the government killed JFK." I'm like, "Why?
Duh.
Why would you think that? Why? They definitely did it. Some guy up in a window is just blatantly shot. I'm like, well, Reagan got shot by. He goes, yeah, who shot him? And I said, I don't know, some crazy guy. Goes, exactly. Some crazy guy just happens to shoot Reagan. I'm like, oh Lord, this is so. I have a joke with him all the time now.
Is he crazy?
I know he's not. He's, it's just, it's amazing to me. And it goes back to that. If you click on something, the news feeds will continually drive that angle at you to the point you believe it. Because
Hmm.
you're like, how can it not be true? I'm getting all this information saying
Well,
it
I went to a
is.
meeting the other day, and the guy said if you say it out loud in front of your cell phone, it'll start showing up because they're
Oh
listening.
yeah. Yep. You mention a destination city or something like that, and it'll start showing
So
up
now who's the
ads.
conspiracy theorist now?
Oh,
Is
they're
it?
definitely, what's that? It's not a conspiracy.
Do you agree that they're listening when the phone's not? It's not even on. You think my voice activation thing? Like that's why I always come in here and I say I'm not wearing any pants to Alexa,
Oh.
and I
I
haven't
thought it
got
was
any
always
ads
true,
for
Dave.
pants
I'm disappointed now
like suspenders.
that you weren't wearing pants. That you are wearing pants,
I'm
as a
wearing
matter of fact.
shorts.
No, I think what they do is they find
Ooh,
loopholes in, when you download apps, they ask you 5,000 permissions, right? And when you say no to one of them, the app won't work, right? So if you leave one of those apps running in the background, then they start picking up on voice prompts and things in the background. So um
that's
yes,
not
I
genius.
do. I do think in the big business world, they're always looking to make more money, and there's just a crap load of money to be made right now, knowing more about Dave Theus.
Well, I'm happy to help them
I don't know.
out.
How are you about getting targeted advertising versus just blanket advertising?
Well, I mean, I went through that. I was looking for when I was younger. I had a not a Mont Blanc, but no, we'll get a lot of those ads. But
Yep, there you go.
it was another French made pen writing instrument that everyone else back in the day, everyone was getting the Mont Blancs. Remember those, the black
Yeah,
and the
they're still
and there's
around, aren't they?
oh yeah, there's a
Okay.
high end French writing instrument, beautiful writing instrument.
I
But
used to I used a back.
everyone had them, and so I was like, I don't want to be another follower. So I went and got me. I can't remember the name of it now. But it was a ballpoint pen. The top came off, and I liked it. It fit my hand nicely.
Right.
Well, and the case of it was made of not cellulose, but whatever they make fine writing instruments. So I put pressure on my pens when I write. So I broke one of them, and it was like $49 100 years ago to get one. $49 versus
Wow.
a Mont Blanc at the time was
That's like 3 million in today's dollars.
yeah, the Mont Blanc back then might have been 99 or 100 and something dollars. So I said, yeah, I'm old now and I'd like to have that pen again. And I looked it up and it was, I want to say 79 or $99 for the one I wanted.
Wow.
And so then I did one search for it. And for about 6 weeks, every time I opened up my browser, it was like, oh, we've got your pen. It's right here. So I don't know what they call that, targeted advertising, but
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't bother me as long
Well,
as
what you should have done is found yourself an artificer to make you a pen.
an artificer.
No, artificer.
Artificer.
Yes.
That's like an artisan, but someone who is specifically that makes pens.
Well, I think I made it yeah, you were closer with your first guess. So, word of the week, folks, and I had my glasses on, so I couldn't
Yeah,
read
I
it
saw
as
it.
well. Artificer.
Artificer.
Yeah. You want to ask the young lady?
It's an artist that makes fine writing instruments.
No, it's not that
Alexa,
concise.
what is an artificer?
Artificer is usually defined as a person who is skillful or clever in devising ways of making things, inventor. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for artificer.
Alexa, more definitions for
No,
artificer.
this never ends well.
He screwed it up.
I know I did.
Alexa, more definitions for artificer.
I have 6 more definitions for the adjective artificial. 1.
Ah,
Here she goes
Imitation.
again.
Simulated.
All right,
Shell.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Oh, God.
Forced. Contrived.
Alexa,
Feigned.
stop. She gets something going and she can't stop.
So it was it you were right, artisan. I didn't pick up on that when I first decided to use that word. So bully for you, Dave. Theus.
Bully. All right, that was a good one.
Yeah. So that's
And
the
we
word of
nailed
the
it
week.
with Alexa the first time. That was actually pretty good. That rarely happens. My enunciating is getting better. All right.
So that's all I'm going to teach you.
Huh?
That's all I'm going to teach you this week. I gave you two
okay.
words: chain and artificer.
All right, I got two more things. I did the online viewership.
Well, I quickly before we do run out of time.
Yeah.
You know how you make fun of me about botanicals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching this guy. So anyhow, I watch this guy occasionally on YouTube who's in New Zealand and he's a distiller.
Mhm.
And I'm always kind of somewhere in the back of my mind thinking someday I'll distill my own bourbon or something stupid like that. But so I watch him from time to time and he's kind of a goofball, funny to watch. So he here's something. Do you know you can't get ranch dressing in New Zealand? That's what he said. Because he said he was making his homemade ranch dressing because he can't get it in New Zealand. So I haven't looked it up to see if that's like a law or just they don't care about it.
What's
in
the
New Zealand.
missing ingredient? Or
I don't know. I don't know how to make ranch. Do you? If we only knew someone we could ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Alexa,
Well,
what is the recipe for ranch dressing?
oh, this could go 10
Okay,
minutes.
for ranch dressing, I recommend homemade ranch dressing from all recipes, 35 minutes to make. What would you like? Start recipe, save recipe, send to phone, or hear next recipe.
Ingredients.
To make 12 servings of homemade ranch dressing, you'll need 1 cup mayonnaise, half cup sour cream, half teaspoon dried chives, half teaspoon dried parsley, half teaspoon dried dill weed, 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon onion powder, 1/8 teaspoon salt, and 1/8 teaspoon ground black pepper. Those are all the ingredients.
For me, it's probably the dill weed, and that's only because it's fun to say. So, anyhow, and my son
was stuff goes into that.
Yeah, my son was watching this with me. I said, so the guy goes, and then as I was making the ranch, I thought, I bet you gin would be real good as a mix. I said, this guy's an alcoholic.
This guy's my kind of guy.
So he ran out. He ran out to his, his studio where he makes everything, and he said he's going to make a batch of gin. Now he made it from vodka as the base, but he said, being it's gin, I need to add the appropriate botanicals. So say you make fun of me, but I was spot on.
No, you were definitely correct about it. I thought the funny part was you mentioned that the botanicals suck the moisture out of you. But I went into that spiel about, you're at your buddy's place at the top of Charlotte looking over the city line. He's like, hey, what about a drink? And I'm like, no,
you can't do the botanicals.
Yes, I can't do the gin because of the botanicals. I understand.
Dries me out.
Dries you out like a sieve.
But I will have a double bourbon.
Yeah, make mine a double.
So anyhow, I want to make sure that you're making fun of me in the botanical thing, and I'm not. Apparently, his name is Jason, and he's in New Zealand, and he likes his botanicals as well.
We should send him some ranch dressing in those packets.
Oh, like I said, I didn't look it up, or he didn't get into why ranch.
You like ranch dressing?
Yeah, it has its place.
Is it
I find I use it more off of salad than I do on salad,
like for dip and stuff.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine, Carl Seagren,
the maker of Seagren 7.
No, Seagren, not Seagram. It's close. Anyway, he was a restaurateur at the time, and from Michigan, and he used to say that ranch dressing was the other beverage.
Oh,
because
that's
in
nasty.
Florida people, I guess they consume it by with like you want a straw with that ranch?
I know people who basically eat it off the spit. I don't know them personally. I've seen people that take it as if it is a second beverage.
Yeah. I like yeah. I don't do that, but it doesn't seem like it's very healthy. But that dip stuff I was getting into. Speaking of the dips, I'm off the dips because I'm on my new plan.
And what
So,
is your new plan?
well, it's not a new plan. It's revisiting an old plan that worked because I put so much damn weight back on. But I told my little friend Debbie, she's my coach, Debbie.
Little Debbie is your
Little
diet coach.
That's pretty funny. I have to tell her that. I'm like, you're my coach, little Debbie. She's little. She's like 5 foot. I don't know, not much. Anyway, she's a sweetheart. She's with Optavia. And so if you know anyone that's been on the Optavia plan, it's the 5-in-1 plan where I eat. I call it I shouldn't say that. It's effective, but I have to get mad. I have to get pumped up and pissed about it. I have to get mad at myself because, I'm like, no, I don't care. I'll have a couple beers and a slice of pizza. Then you know what I mean? So
That is the mistake of most people who say they're on a diet, is they have way too many cheat episodes.
yeah, and I'm a systematic guy. So I'm one of these guys that to analyze is like I'll analyze what I did yesterday and say, okay, well, I know what the problem was. It was the dips and the dozen crackers that went with the dip. So let's eliminate those, make an analysis, and then I systematically approach everything that I do. Well, apparently I systematically went through the workroom during Christmas 2 years ago at school and picked up brownies, cookies, and pies and cakes. And it worked. So I put on 35 pounds
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, I
And you
crept
haven't
up.
stopped since, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I can't get through the door jam anymore. That's how.
Wow.
I just
Gonna
I
get you in those scooters?
I put on the
You get
35
around
pounds.
Walmart.
The problem with me is getting it off at 60 years old.
That's everybody's problem, Dave.
Yeah, but once I get it off, I can keep it off, except for
All
the
right.
pies, cakes, and the ham.
Do you give up liquor during this 5-in-2
Yeah,
thing?
so I had to drink it all a couple nights ago. That might have been why we were out. No, I didn't do that. The good news, it'll keep. But I get to keep smoking cigars, so that's all I care about. So anyway, I'm on the 5-in-1 plan with Optavia. This is not a commercial. They did not sponsor our show, although we would take a sponsorship.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
And I tell you, it's the easiest thing. You just got to get serious about it and do it. And so they give you these prepackaged meals. What you end up doing is go to this. It's a soft, warm, and fuzzy ketos, session where you start to eat yourself, basically.
I don't eat.
And then you get a meal that's preparing right now. In fact, you get a lean and green, they call it. So it's 4 to 6 ounces of lean protein. I'm doing chicken boneless.
So they send you a meal.
No. I do my own lean and green thing. I like that. And they send me the various types of shakes and bars and, nashi stuff. And so it's pretty cool timing because I'm getting ready to go to my FBLA trip, Future Business Leaders of
Yay.
America. The national convention will be in Orlando, so I hope to run into your friend down there next week.
Well, he's not my friend. He's our friend, Dave. He's a listener of the show.
Oh, can I say at least his first name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hi, Chris. Thanks for listening, tuning in. And I look forward to meeting you in person in Orlando. I'll be staying, by the way, at the formerly known as the Peabody. And
it's not anymore?
No, they sold. It's now the it's what the
I was trying to think of Mr. Peabody's friend in the cartoon, but I couldn't come up with it. Did they get rid of the ducks?
Yeah, well, the Peabody sold. So the ducks
I know,
but
they got rid of the ducks were evicted shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I can't remember the name of the hotel.
Well, you better remember.
Well, I know where I'm going. But anyway, so Chris, if you're staying at that hotel, I look forward to seeing you. And let's hook up. We can't meet for a drink because you can't do that when you got kids, so we won't do that. But we will definitely hook up and have a discussion, and maybe we can shake hands and have a firm embrace or something. But anyway, so the cool thing about this, what I was trying to tell you is, it's not cheap going, to Orlando in a high dollar hotel. So this meal plan allows me to put all my little meals into a Ziploc bag for the day, and then I only have to buy my lean and green. So I'll get like a salad with grilled chicken or shrimp or something like that.
Oh.
So I'm excited.
Well, how much you looking to lose?
So I was down at 255 where I felt comfortable. So I'd like to get
Okay.
back to there. I can.
Well, with
The
the
cool.
heat wave we're having, Dave, it's like being in a sauna outside.
Well, the thing about being I've been a big guy all my life. When you're 6'4", I'd like to be able to go back in and buy off the rack. You know what I mean? You can probably walk into a store and go, "Oh, I'll take an extra large." I don't know what you wear for a shirt, but large or extra large,
Large, yeah.
and you just
What are you
buy
saying?
extra.
I'm big, Dave?
No, I'm just saying it's going
Mm.
to fit off the rack. Where I have to go in and go, okay, does it come with tent poles or does it, And then when I used to play football in school, I got an injury to my neck and I had a 24-inch neck.
Hmm.
Believe it or not, when I was really in good shape, 24-inch neck and about a 36-inch waist. So you can imagine, that guy.
Yeah.
And I could never find shirts because
You were like a tree trunk.
yeah. But I'm fortunate now that I quit doing that, so I have an 18-inch
Yeah, you
neck.
told us about the extra large helmet they had to find you
Yeah. Whew. So
for that
anyway,
noggin.
FBLA is this weekend, and I'm taking two kids down, one middle school age person, one high schooler, and they're both competing for national champions. Both of them finished second place in the state of Florida. One of them is a national champion, return to defend his honor, and the other one's a newly to the national scene. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a good time.
Interesting. What was I thinking about? Do kids get their own rooms too?
Typically not. You're on the
Okay.
budget so if you're traveling with boys, then they share a room,
Hmm.
and the girls obviously share a room as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for some of them, this is the first time they've ever left the city?
Well, my kid has been to Orlando for a state conference, then Atlanta for a national conference.
Yeah, I remember
Those
that.
were his first times. Well,
Okay.
he's without his parents, I guess.
Right.
And then we're going back to Orlando twice. The young man from high school, I'm sure his family's traveled, but I don't know if this is whatever.
All right. I'm just curious.
But no,
How
to
that-
your point, a lot of them, it's the first time they're staying in a 5-star hotel. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, it might be my first time too.
Yeah. I can't believe I
So
can't remember the name of it. Orlando. I keep wanting to say Embassy Suites, but it's not Embassy
no,
Suites.
yeah, it was like it
What's
was
the big
already.
name?
I always remember that on I Drive there. There was an
What's
Embassy
the
Suites next to an Embassy Suites. I always thought that was the most bizarre thing.
remember this? It used to be the national part of the Grand Cypress. Remember the Grand Cypress Hotel?
That was way out near Disney.
Yeah, but it was the chain that Grand Cypress was a part
Oh,
of. Shoot.
Grand Oak, Elk,
No, not that one.
Elm.
Anyway, I can't remember. I don't care.
Uh,
Anyway,
Well,
so
you
we're doing
care
that.
because it's bugging you.
No, don't bug me later on. I'll be swearing. So I covered FBLA and I covered our buddy Chris, and I look forward to seeing. I covered the weight loss and I covered last week in online viewership. I think I've covered it all.
Well, tonight in the Woody household, it's tread depth checking night. So, and we are running up on the last 10 minutes of the show. So I just want to give you a little heads up.
On your tires, on the
Yeah.
bottom of your shoes.
I'm like, what other tread would I be checking?
Are
Yeah.
you checking your Vibram whelps on the bottom of your shoes?
What?
Vibram welt. That's the name of the sole. So is this where you put Abraham Lincoln into your tire
And see
you
if his
just-
head touches?
Yeah.
Now we get a little bit more technical than that, Dave. We use an actual tread depth checker.
You have it like a gauge,
Yeah, it's a
like
gauge.
a spark plug gauge, a gap
Right.
gauge, or something like that.
Exactly. And then the hard part is, and you got to move the car to make sure the tread is of equal depth around the circumference.
Do you jack it up and rotate, try it that way, or you just kind of move it around a little
We
bit
just
on the
let someone
driveway?
move the car back, and then there's 5 of us in the Woody household. One person sits in the car, and the other 4 sit on each tire of the car, and we move, and then we let the car roll either backwards or forwards, and we mark and we start the tire with a piece of chalk on the floor so you know where you started. And it's very involved.
So what's the I almost got it all out. What is the the increments in which because I know it wouldn't be, it'd be random if you just stuck it in one spot. So you want
Right.
fair representation, I assume. So what's the measurement between the chalk marks? Are you looking at, I don't know.
About every half inch.
No, come on. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and then we write those down, and then we average that around the circumference of the
So do you
wheel.
use like a spreadsheet Excel or something like that? Or you have an app?
Eventually, yes, when we're all done outside with all 6 cars, then we come inside and enter it into our spreadsheet and let it calculate to make sure there's no indifference or flat spots on the tires that need to be addressed.
So I'm assuming, of course,
Right.
that you would be able to enter the name and the brand of the tire and the model number, and then this data should spit out an optimum depth level according to
Exactly. It's like you've done it with me before, Dave.
Well, I'm just
Essentially, that's
essentially. So I told you my dad was an engineer, and so I think I've got some engineer DNA in me, and I think
gotcha. Well, I guess the most difficult part, though, is when you do discover the tire is not round to a degree where it starts to affect your driving, right? There's a little bit of bounce to the wheel. Well, then you got to get the sandpaper out and try to carve off just enough of the rubber around the rest of the tire, because you can't add rubber to the tire. That'd be dumb to think that. So you have to remove rubber
to get
it back and
bumps.
round. Yeah, to get
So
it back and around.
I guess the last question I have for this adventure, and this sounds fascinating, by the way, is there a protocol for when the data reflects that this tire is not going to make the cut? I mean, is there a moment where you guys have I don't want to call it a celebration of life, but I mean, is there
how do we dispose of the tire?
Yeah, I mean, does it get emotional when you've
No,
been with this tire for some period of time?
Yeah, it's very pragmatic.
I mean, you think about the safety of your family members, obviously, when you're on, and others when you're on,
and the environment, because we're trying to make sure we're keeping up with miles per gallon, right? An out around tire starts to hurt your performance on MPG.
What's your preferred disposal method for a tire that's lifespan is over? Do you take it back to the dealership or the tire place and let them, pay the fee and let them do it, or do you have a preference?
Occasionally, I use them as bumpers on the boat dock, right?
So yeah.
That sometimes we put the kids in the middle and roll it down the hill into the lake.
Have you finished that concrete stairs down into the back deck?
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't do it though, but unfortunately they had with all the rains and everything, the water came up real high this year and took a little bit out from under it. And now I got to figure out what to do about that after all that work and money and time spent. Hey, because we are near the end here, I'm going to make this quick.
Yeah.
We talked about advertising on the show.
Right.
And it occurred to me, with your new Republican headquarters, would they want to advertise on our podcast?
I think the key success ratio that we're looking for with advertising, well, anyone for that, not just me or anyone else, but is listenership.
Right.
Audience.
Right.
So
I'm only asking for maybe, I'll do a 30s. I'll even do the read for the Republican Party, Dave.
You do that.
I do a live read for them. What 3,000.
Okay.
I'm not going to be greedy.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking that. I mean, 3,000. I mean, what are we talking amongst friends here? I mean,
our biggest listenership is Florida.
Yeah,
and it's Clay County for that matter.
Well, there's something to be said about that.
Right.
We need to probably have that up the flagpole. So
since you probably get some say in how the monies are spent.
Well, that would be probably a little bit of a heavy-handedness on my part. Well, you're saying use the bully pulpit, Dave, to.
I mean, it's not like we're cheating anybody.
Crony capitalism.
Yeah, we're not cheating anybody of anything. We're just merely giving them an avenue to spend their advertising dollars wisely.
Well, in the spirit of full transparency, we'll have to put that before the committee.
That's why I'll do the read, Dave.
Well, that only seems fair.
Right. If you did it, then obviously it would be.
That's hardly arm's length distance there. I got you.
Listen, we're in two different states, man.
Yeah. I'm sure that has anything to do with it, but okay.
All right.
All right. Are we done?
Yeah, you want to wrap this up?
I do want to wrap it up because I got chicken tenders, skinless,
Mm.
boneless, and green beans.
I personally have nothing to do tonight.
That's the lean and the green.
Gotcha.
Are you homeless? I mean, wifeless?
No, I got a house full of
Oh,
dogs
you
and
got the
people in
tire
back.
thing going on. What are you talking about?
That's right. That's what I said. Well, that's true, but I shouldn't complain. At least I get that checked off for the year.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I got a chance to catch up with you. And I'm Dave.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Are we going to do a show next week?
Well,
I say yeah.
what day is it
July
the
4th Eve. It's July 4th Eve.
I get back on the 3rd.
Oh, from what?
From Orlando. It's Tuesday.
Oh, that's this weekend.
Yeah, what day is the 3rd? Is it?
It's a Wednesday.
Tuesday? Yeah, we check out early Wednesday. I drive back. I'll be back in plenty of time. All
right.
So let's do this. We got to be theme. Can we dress up accordingly to the theme for July 4th?
Oh, I'll see what I have. Yeah, I don't know if I have. I mean, you only see the top 3 inches of my shoulders. What am I going to do?
Well, I think if we're going to do this, maybe we could have a background or something that demonstrates.
Oh, that I can wrangle up in time.
Okay. Well, we'll have a show.
All right.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And you've listened to a welcome back episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. And welcome back. Oh, yeah. Tune in to wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. Someone asked if we were on Apple the other day, and I don't know.
I swear we are. Someone tells me they listen to it on there.
Hey, do a Alexa request. That's always kind of,
she'll play it for you.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're not watching us on YouTube, go over to YouTube, make Woody feel good because he doesn't think we have anybody that listens to us that way. And just click on the subscription button. No one's going to know that you subscribe to us.
And it's not like a bill shows up.
Yeah, it's absolutely nothing out of your pocket. And so anyway, subscribe, like, and share over at YouTube. And that's We Can Help with Dave and Woody. In the meantime, have a super fantabulous week. Be prosperous in all that you do and be safe. And Chris is his name. I look forward to meeting you, Chris. We'll see you on Friday, Saturday. Peace out.